Hello everyone and welcome to my Blender tutorial. This is going to be, it's just going to explain how to get your things, from the basics. Downloading Blender, to making models, to rigging them and exporting them, and troubleshooting and all of the major questions. This is going to utilize Blender 2.79, and it will work, well, if you follow what I do, it should work for Trainz 09 to Trainz 2019, and hopefully above. So, yeah, let's just hop on into it. What you need is just Chrome, or whatever browser you want to use, and type in Blender 2.79, and you'll want to click this first link. It's on the Blender website, the official one. It's going to prompt you down here in the blue box to download the latest version of Blender. We don't want to do that because you need a different exporter for it to work in the new Blender. I don't know how to use the new Blender. I don't know how to use the new exporter. So, yeah, we're just gonna go with the older versions. But they're still good. They do their job. Download Blender 2.79b old. Click that, and it will prompt you with an index. I don't know what you would need to select for a Linux computer or a MacBook, but for me, I use a Windows and a 64-bit operating system, I think. So I will need to select this one down here. So just scan these. Whatever information matches your computer, just take that one. So click that, and it will start downloading. Okay, now once it has finished downloading, you can just click on it, and if you are using WinRAR like I am, there will be a small, tiny extra step. If you aren't using WinRAR, I'm just going to close this, it'll just show up like a normal folder. But if you are using WinRAR, you will need to you'll need to select this folder and press Extract to. When it prompts you with this, click Desktop, and then press OK. It will transfer everything over. It'll take a little bit. So after you've done this, you don't need the folder or WinRAR window open, so you can just exit out of that, and you'll see the folder on the desktop. Double click that, and it will show you all of this. It's all very confusing. I don't even know what half of any of this is besides the blender.exe. When you double click this and open it, it will open it as it normally would, but if you drag this onto the desktop, it will show an error. Pretty much what those errors tell you is that because you moved this out of the folder into the desktop, it no longer has access to the things that it needs to run. So how do we get past this? Well, you just right-click blender.exe and then go down to Create Shortcut. Now you have blender.exe-shortcut. You can drag this onto the desktop and rename it to whatever you want. In my case, I'm just going to call it Blender. And now, it should work. You can exit out of this. You can, if you don't want this on your desktop, the folder, you can just move it back to downloads and exit out of it. Now once you double click on Blender, it works. So it might be a bit slow the first time it loads up, but that's how you download Blender. Now, the second part, which is pretty important, is the keyframes, or how would I say it? I can't remember what it's called, but when you press 1, it should take you to forward view like it just did there. And when you press 3, it'll take you to the side view, and 7 to the top view, and so on and so on. If you press 5, it'll take you in and out of orthographic view. Now, it's already downloaded on this version. I don't know why. It won't come with yours. I think it just saved the settings because I went and deleted Blender and re-downloaded it for this tutorial. But if you want to enable this, because once you download it, it won't come with that. You want to go to File, User Preferences, and for me, it starts out at Input. It might start out at Editing or Add-ons for you, but you're going to want to go to Input. Now, about halfway down the little line to the left, you will see Emulate Numpad. It won't be checked for you. For me, it was checked because it saved. You're going to want to have a little check next to that. That way you can go in and out of orthographic view and use diagrams, and it'll be very helpful. So once you've done that, go to User Settings, or Save User Settings, and now you can X out of it, and it should work. Yeah. So that's the first part. Assuming, well, yeah, you want to export to Trainz, which means that your objects and locomotives and vehicles need to be in scale. How do we do that? It's pretty simple, actually. I made a track file which uses the old UK Bullhead one for scaling. It's available on my website. I will show you how to get to it. Just open up Chrome again, or whatever you're using, and type in, well, I'll provide a link in the description. So it'll just take you to this. Go to the Signalworks, Blender Content, Blender Track, Download. So it'll show you all these things. There's a bunch of different types of scales. There's the Accurate Season 4 narrow gauge. There is Railway Series narrow gauge. There's 2-foot gauge. There's 15-inch gauge. There's Coldy Fell gauge. But for this one, most of you are going to want to start out with standard gauge. So just highlight that, or press it. Okay, that's strange. Why can't I highlight anything? Okay, let me reload that. Yeah, now it's working. Okay, so right-click the file, press Download, and because I've downloaded this hundreds of times for this tutorial, it will show up a bit different, but the basic concept is the same. Now in the bottom of your browser, you should see SW3D standard gauge.blend. Go back to Blender, go to the top left where it says File, click, and then select Open. And normally it'll, if this is your first time, it'll just go to Desktop, or maybe Downloads, or Documents. Go to Downloads, and then you can find the file right there. Or if you are having trouble finding it, you can just go here. Yeah, I'm just going to change this. You can go here, and you can drag it in, and it'll take you to the right place. Now make sure it says the file name up there, and click Open Blender File. So yeah, now you have the track, and the camera, and the base. You can use, assuming that you have a mouse, you can hold the middle scroll wheel, and that will move you around. If you hold Shift and the scroll wheel, it'll move you around in the orthographic front-facing view, or if you're in the side, like that, if you aren't in orthographic view, it'll just move you around consistently, I guess you could call it. So yeah, I hope that helped. In the next one, we will actually start modeling. This is just sort of tutorial 0, I guess you could call it, on how to get started. So I hope this helped. I hope that I can continue this series, and I hope y'all are looking forward to it.